The China Report for Saturday, March 2, 2013. U.S. and China dominate global billionaires. The world has at least 1,453 billionaires, with about half of those residing in the U.S. and China, according to the Hurun Global Rich List. In terms of cities, Moscow is home to the greatest number of billionaires with 76, followed by New York 70, Hong Kong 52, Beijing 41 and London 40. Asia is home to the lion's share of billionaires on the planet with 608 individuals, followed by North America with 440 billionaires and Europe 324, said the report. By country, the U.S. was home to 409 billionaires, comfortably ahead of the 317 from China. The billionaires on the list account for $5.5 trillion in personal wealth, equivalent to the GDP of China, the world's second richest country, according to the report. China moves ahead with North Korea trade zone. China and North Korea jointly set up the Rason Management Committee in October to handle the planning, construction and development of the zone, also known as Ranjin Songbang, one of the country's highest-profile economic projects. North Korea conducted its third nuclear test in February, drawing global condemnation in a stern warning from the United States that it was a threat and a provocation. North Korea's latest test, its third since 2006, prompted warnings from Washington and others that more sanctions would be imposed on the isolated state. Despite recent nuclear testing issues, China is committed to a joint economic zone. Recently, there has been growing and disturbing information on drug trafficking issues near North Korea. Here comes China's drones. China is developing its own drone technology for its own military and for sale around the world. Unmanned systems have become the legal and ethical problem child of the global defense industry and the governments they supply, rewriting the rules of military engagement in ways that many find disturbing. And this sense of unease about where we're headed is hardly unfamiliar. Much like the emergence of drone technology, the rise of China and its reshaping of the geopolitical landscape has stirred up a sometimes understandable, sometimes irrational, fear of the unknown. It's safe to say, then, that Chinese drones conjure up a particularly intense sense of alarm that the media has begun to embrace as a license to panic. China's February factory growth numbers down. China's factory growth cooled to multi-month lows in February as domestic demand dipped, weighing on firms already hit by slack foreign sales and underlining the patchiness of the country's economic recovery. Data from China's bank regulator that showed banks weathered their worst economic downturn in 13 years last year without any rise in bad debt ratios could further assuage investors worried about the health of the world's number 2 economy. Weaker factory growth numbers, paired with a growing housing bubble, has many experts worried on the condition of China's economy for 2013 and beyond. China defense spending increasing. After almost 3 decades of sharply increased military outlays, an increasingly assertive China now has the firepower to challenge rivals claiming strategically important and resource-rich territory in the East China and South China Seas. The Chinese Navy, now second in size only to the U.S. fleet in terms of raw numbers, has become a genuine blue water force and is conducting almost continuous patrols and exercises in these contested waters. Over the past 6 months, China's standoff with Japan over a series of rocky islands in the East China Sea known as the Senkaku in Japan and Diaoyu in China has become more intense. Beijing is also in dispute with the Philippines and Vietnam, as well as Taiwan, Brunei and Malaysia, over territory in the South China Sea. That's the China Report for today. Zaijian.